I want to first of all apologize on behalf of the church leaders, on behalf of the mistreatment, the harsh words, the unkind words that you may have received, the pain that you have suffered because of that stigma. I'm really sorry, and please take it from me. I'm repenting on behalf of the others, apologizing to you as an individual and corporately, all of you who have been affected by this stigma. But I also want to assure you that as church, as the institution of the church, this is not our belief. This is not what we believe in. Many of you are victims of circumstances. Many of you have got into these problems not because of your own doing. Please forgive us. Even if it was your own doing, it is incumbent on us to love you, to respect you, to retain your dignity, to allow you, even if we want to help, to allow you be who you are, to love you as you are, and to accept you in our communities, to accept you in our churches as we ought. So anything that is below that really is not of God. Our Lord Jesus Christ, whom we follow, always loved people whoever they are. And as a leader personally, that's what I endeavor to help my fellow leaders to do.
The HIV is really having a root among the religious teams, just because of some issues that are feared not to be aired out in Christianity, which actually we feel are fueling stigma and discrimination among the Christian folk.
We've evidently found this very relevant to the faith communities, particularly when you start engaging with people living with HIV and AIDS. There have been issues that we called sticky issues.
There are issues of condom use, there are issues of multiple marriages, there are issues of treatment care and healing, there are issues of discordancy, and these are issues that are understood in different ways by different faiths. And I can say that this is a very important beginning, because it has enabled us to open our eyes to the reality that the way we understand these things, the way we perceive them as people of different faiths is not the same. And it is important that along the way and in the presence of people living with HIV and AIDS, real issues are now being discussed.
As when HIV came, not only the religious leaders, majority of the people interpreted it according to their backgrounds. The religious leader will interpret this just the same way he interprets all the other things that happened to him. So that's why I'm saying the religious leaders need the same help like every other person needs. The politicians will interpret in another way, witch doctors will interpret in another way, and that's what happened when HIV came. And so that's why we need to include the church leaders in whatever intervention that we're involved in. First with sensitization, dialogue, get their mindset first. And because they have a big constituency, almost everybody belongs to a religious organization, a church or a mosque. It would be really being unreasonable if you don't involve those people.
This, I think, is a very important engagement for us. It is the first one. Out of this will come processes that will lead us into engagement within our faith communities and across the faiths, so that in the future, when we make comments concerning HIV, we make comments about issues to do with healing, issues to do with marriages, issues to do with treatment, care and support, we will be talking the same language.
And so when we talk about dialogue, because there are different perspectives, then we've got to bring all these issues where we're not agreed upon to a place where there's consensus, or a place where there's uniformity of message, and also to reduce the conflict between science, theology and faith, so that we do not confuse our communities. So I think that the whole issue of framework for dialogue is one way in which we can begin to address all these sticky issues, where people of different thinking, of different perspectives can sit together at the table and say, this is one message that we would want to front, the issues we've got to agree, and then speak with one message and reduce the controversies and confusion. So I think it's a relevant piece of work that I started, and how I wish all faiths and all parties can engage with the framework for dialogue. process.
With the meeting we just had with the key HIV/AIDS focal person of these institutions and religious leaders, people living with HIV, it's a step in the right direction, because I know that that has been the missing link. People living with HIV and religious leaders meeting somewhere to discuss and agree on those issues that are very sensitive. An example is the issue of prevention among couples that are HIV discordant or that are HIV positive concordant. For prevention, how can they prevent infection or reinfection? Churches don't think that the condom is a viable option, and yet it's a very critical issue. So I'm glad this dialogue can engage some of those issues.
This is long overdue. We should be meeting together. The institution we lead, called Christianity, has been here for 2,000 years. There have been challenges that have come against it, through the centuries. And because of that, there are things that come up every other time, where you may not quote a specific verse. And for us, our key text is the Bible. And because it's the Bible, we are always careful that everything that we do is based on the scriptures. And because the interpretation varies, as you know, the variation has as many denominations as you have, it is worth coming together and saying, now when it comes to this issue of HIV, what do we say? How about this issue of condom use? How about, so it is something that should always be ongoing, because the challenges have not stopped. There are things that have come today, the things which are coming tomorrow.